I can do all things through God who strengthens me. See, leftists think they have to have people as their ally, people as their support, people as their strength. Unfortunately, the wise among us know that people, while flawed, they are flawed, which means that support, that strength, that ally, all those things are flawed as well. But the faith of Christians, conservatives, means all isn't lost. Why? Because we believe in him, and he believes in you. Even when you, our leftist friends, don't believe in yourself. You don't need the government. You don't need policy change. You don't need more laws. All you need is the recognition that you are stronger than you think. That someone else's implicit bias, it can't stop you. And your implicit bias, it can't stop us either. That's why we'll pop a cork. We're going to sip some pours. It's why we'll solve the problems of the world with you. It's why we'll have a damn good time doing it. It's why we're just getting rolling on this week's episode of Implicit Bias.
Have an honest injury? Call an honest attorney. I'm Chris Castro of Castro Law Firm, and I handle a broad array of injury cases involving car, truck, motorcycle, and premises liability. I pride myself on personal service with a pragmatic approach. A legitimate attorney for a legitimate need. Castro Law Firm in Lafayette, Louisiana has been helping the hurting throughout the state of Louisiana since 1992. Call me at 337-984-7677 or visit my website, castro-firm.com. LSBA filing number 2416932.
The Rustic Renegade has thousands and thousands of unique men's gifts. Here's Caleb Moores.
So one of our biggest selling knives is out the front knives. An out the front knife is an automatic knife that just pops out the front. Most people think of them as a switchblade, and they don't realize the many uses that it has. It gives you a great one-handed operation use for a knife.
Why don't you come in, have a cup of coffee with us? The Rustic Renegade and therusticrenegade.com.
Renee Girard, Acadiana certified master tobacconist, owns Piper's Haven at 3916 West Congress, right between Adrian's and Gilbo Road. How many cigars are in that humidor?
A lot.
100?
Oh, more than that.
Way more than that?
Way more than that.
It don't matter?
Thousands of cigars.
Thousands? Thousands of cigars in the humidor at Piper's Haven. So you've got all these cigars. You've got pipes and pipe tobacco stuff.
I got pipes, pipe tobacco, cigars, cigar lighters, cigar cutters, pipe lighters, pipe stands, Lamborghini lamps, the scents. I got everything you need.
Really what you need is a great cigar, great conversation at Piper's Haven.
Yeah,
right?
And we need some cool weather because it's too hot to sit on a porch right now.
I agree, but that's okay because you got a smoking room.
Yes, we do. It's an air-conditioned smoking room with a big screen TV.
So if you need a haven from home, you've got Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress Street, between Adrian's and Gilbo Road. Renee will help you pick out a great cigar.
William S. Nacoll Jewelry has been serving the Acadiana area for over 40 years now. Loose diamonds, engagement rings, wedding sets, the most extensive in-store selection Acadiana has to offer. Waterford crystal, Swarovski crystal, and a complete Pandora jewelry shop right on the showroom floor. In-house jewelry repairs, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff to assist you. When you want bigger, better diamonds for less, when you want quality merchandise at affordable prices, shop local. Shop William S. Nacoll Jewelry, 3802 Johnson Street, Lafayette.
Experience Acadiana's most exclusive steakhouse, Mr. Lester's at Cypress Bayou. Make your reservation today. Space is limited. Take Highway 90 to the Baldwin exit.
Hour one of Implicit Bias is brought to you by Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress in Lafayette, Louisiana, featuring Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist, Renee Girard. Go there. He's got 553 square feet of walk-in humidor. The certified Wizard of Tobacco has everything you need. Cigars, pipes, pipe tobacco, cutters, lighters. It's all at Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress. The innuendos just keep coming here in the Top Secret Podcast lair. I'm your host, Cavan Bordelon. This is Implicit Bias, and we are about to dive into a weekly whiskey. But first, let me introduce you to the crew who's here with us in the Top Secret Podcast lair for our first episode of September 2024. To my right, the tan, the myth, the legend is back. Caleb Morse, the rustic renegade, is with us. Caleb, it is wonderful to have you back.
I feel like I've been gone too long.
And it was only one show that you missed.
One show, but like I had to drink by myself. You know, like emotionally scarring that is for me.
Don't lie. Don't lie. We know you drink by yourself all the time. And we also know Jackie, which means that all you got to do is give her one drink and you're not drinking by yourself for a couple of days.
This is true.
Yeah, but and that's not a bad thing either. So I'm with you.
I get jealous.
Yeah. You know, there are times when I wish that I was, as that old saying goes, a cheap date when it came to whiskey or liquor in general. It was so much easier.
It was much simpler whenever our livers weren't as robust,
as conditioned. Conditioned.
Yeah, condition's good.
Conditioned.
That's before you got taste.
Correct.
When you were in college, you were a poor college kid with no taste. Now you have refined taste.
That is the voice from the bar. That is Renee Girard, Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist. Renee, a little bit different perspective on the room. It's a pleasure to have you back with us.
I'm starting to feel like Walker. I'm in the other corner now.
You are not in the other corner.
I am.
You are at the bar.
Well, I'm at the bar.
Off? You are at the bar corner. In the DSPL.
Yeah. I mean, after in a little while we're gonna have the celebrity death match.
But you're already the old man. You can't be the referee and the fighter.
Well, that's true.
This is very true. But he does have his own spot. He's got more space than anybody here right now. I mean, he's well accommodated.
Yeah, but you all have the comfy chairs.
But you have comfy bar stools behind the bar.
I do. I do.
You have.
I got a bar to lean
high
on.
ground. You have the advantage.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
I look down upon you.
As if that is something new. Anyway, let's dive into our weekly whiskey. Oh, wait, I forgot. We still have the corner, and we have Walker Griffon. Better Off Dead is in the corner. Walker, it's good to have you back.
Good to be here.
I mean, you were now telling me that you're actually having to experience what real work is like.
Yeah.
Getting ready for football season because we know you do other stuff.
Yep.
You're at, what is it, the GOAT?
Yeah,
that you're on air. So you're on air at the GOAT by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How does that go?
I got somebody with me, but
oh, okay. Well,
just one of my buddies.
Well, I thought you had your own whole show.
It's my own whole show, but I got a co-host with me.
So how does that go with your co-host doing all the talking and you saying it's good?
It's a little easier with sports for me.
Hey, look, sports can be much easier and it's sometimes much more frustrating. I understand that. But I'm glad to hear that you're actually getting into some of that work. I know you enjoy it. You seem to have a good time with it. So football season, I'm just going to warn you, it gets hectic.
Oh, I bet.
It gets awfully hectic when we've got recording schedules here. We've got all that other stuff. What you got, Renee?
Nothing. I'm just adjusting my shirt.
Oh, I thought you were raising your hand like you wanted to talk. So.
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, football season, hunting season's coming up.
Yeah.
Like,
well, so we've got a very brief span because now that LSU season is over, we can go to football season or we can go to the rest of hunting season.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way, Brian Kelly, because that was perhaps the best coaching job I've seen since a Jim Mora coach team. Anyway, talk about an absolute... We're not going there. Let's go to our weekly whiskey. Let's solve the problems of the world because really, as much as I love and hate to say it all at the same time, LSU football is not one of the major problems of the world. But knowing what your weekly whiskey is, that is. So, Renee, you have the bottle over there?
Yep.
I couldn't see it over here because you're looking down upon me from the bar.
So high, I'm high and mighty this week.
So we actually have a theme as we are expecting, and I am so happy about this. We are expecting our first cool front of the year, the first full weekend of September.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're still not going to get probably below what, low 80s?
Well, I think the low was like 67.
Well, the low,
but the high is like
in the
82,
60s
84.
at night. Yeah. I can't wait. Porch weather. Yeah.
Absolutely love it, which means that we're getting to that weather where I might start wanting something a little toasty. Maybe something a little toasted, like whiskeys that we're going to have in the month of September from our weekly whiskey partners. It is Toasted Barrel Month. So, Renee, what do we have up in week one?
We have the Red Line single barrel straight rye whiskey coming in at 58% or 116 proof.
So good.
Okay, so I got to say for those out there who listen to the show, there's some dead giveaways that we were probably going to like this. First of all, straight rye whiskey. That's check number one.
Yeah.
Single barrel. Check number 2. Toasted barrel. Check number 3. At 116 proof. Check number 4.
Raisins.
Okay. Let's start with you, Renee. I'm curious because I'm going to give you credit. You hit the nose on this right off the bat.
Apricots. I get apricots. It's got a little. My first sip, it was a little hot, and I'm more of a 95 to 100 proof guy. So this is a little bit stronger. But after you take a couple of sips of this, that goes away. I mean, you can handle this easily. But yeah, the apricots is what hit me first thing. I didn't get vanilla, caramel, apricot.
Mm-hmm. I got a little caramel. I didn't get any caramel, which is a place in California. I did get some caramel. This, though, when I got it and tasted it, yes, I think your nose was spot on here. Our master tobacconist laying it out and being like, hey, this is one of the reasons why. Because, yes, that to me is the dominant flavor profile in this particular whiskey. Caleb, let's let Walker go here because I'm curious to see what the Implicit Bias pledge seems to think of this particular whiskey at 116 proof.
I enjoy it. My first sip, I got green apple.
I can see that. I can see and understand that.
That was only like my first and second sip. And then the other one's the apricot, and I don't really get it anymore, but I get it a little bit, and the caramel a little bit.
So almost like it's candied.
Yes.
Which is where Caleb went when the whole apricot came out. Caleb, you want to fill us in on your thoughts on this particular?
Well, when I cracked the bottle open, I was sitting there nose humping it, and I got cinnamon. I could get that rye spice, and it just smelled warm, if that makes sense, right? And then I took a sip, and then I took another sip because I couldn't figure out what fruit I was tasting, and then I kind of aerated the glass a little, and I got the apricot out the gate, and then like a candied apple, but a candied apricot. Just the caramel, the warmth, it is just delicious.
If you've ever had those apricot slices that you buy in the grocery store, it's by the produce section. They're in the bags. They're dried, like dried candied.
Am I to the age where I'm
apricots.
going to buy dried fruit now? Is that what this is?
If you've ever had those, I've had a bite of one of those.
Is
what
the
this
orange
reminds me of.
slices next for me?
No. Orange slices are a totally different indulgence.
Dried prunes. That's what's next for you.
I'm regular. It's
Please
okay.
no. I was about to say, please no. We did not need to give him any more of that here in the Top Secret Podcast, Lear. We're fortunate that there is a bathroom adjacent.
It's right there.
And we're just going to leave it there.
Just a hop skip.
We're just going to leave it there.
What's crazy about this is like I would never seek out an apricot, like to go eat it and enjoy it. But this, like out the gate, I'm like, man, this is delicious. It's fruity enough, it's sweet enough, but it's not overly sweet. It just hits on all cylinders. This is a beautiful, beautiful rye.
This is one that makes me, to your point, I'm not an apricot guy. I'm not someone who's like, I'm going to go. I had a bite of one a few times. This makes me want to go get those dried apricots and go, this is that good. It makes me think of that. Now I want to go get that. That's how good this is. It sits on the palate at 116 proof so beautifully. It's opened up. It was a little necky, to your point, Renee. Maybe that first sip here or there. But now, after a couple of sips, and I can't wait till we put some water and whiskey in this, a couple drops of that.
I'm sure it's going to get a little bit sweeter. I think that'll bring out some floral flavors to it, maybe because they're kind of subtle. I'm looking forward to giving it a shot.
It's just whiny enough without being over whiny. It is not overly viscous. It's not over oily. There's a hint of oil to it, though, that gives it a long finish.
It's very, very palatable.
Yes. Yeah, I'm impressed that you got that out.
I was focusing.
I saw you. I saw you. Like you actually, the look on your face was I'm gonna and then I watched you almost have an aneurysm.
It's a hard work. But like it just comes off so well, and it's so drinkable. This one is very. Oh, you sipped it already with the water, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Because you've got the water over on the bar.
Well, yeah,
gotta wait
because
till
you
the
put me
second
at the
glass.
bar. I got all the stuff over here.
I got to wait till the second glass.
You do have all this stuff. Well, and look, that is one of the benefits of the bar.
Yes.
Which is now Caleb can't just reach across the table.
No.
and be like, oh yeah, I want a fourth pour of
Oh,
this.
is this
Yes.
how I get supervised?
Yeah, but watch. That's not going to stop him.
No.
Oh,
He
no.
will get up
He'll
and
get
he
up.
will pour something.
He will get up
Not
during the
far from
breaks.
it right now.
Yeah.
He will get up during the breaks, no doubt about that.
Even when we're not in break. It's Caleb.
It is, and you are correct. And I hate to admit it, but you are correct. You know why? Because doggone it, you're good enough and you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. Well, we're talking about Renee, so no, really, they don't. Anyway, oh no, I'm sorry, Renee. I was actually thinking of Walker. So, all right, we got to start thinking about how we're going to rate this on the Morse Whiskey Rating Code, and the What Would You Pay Championship belt chain is on the bar. It
looks so good up there.
It does. It looks fantastic sitting on that black granite. It just looks so beautiful. Okay. So the question becomes, where does this rate? So for the uninitiated here on the show, the Morse Whiskey Rating Code is as follows. Red, I wouldn't drink it even if it was free. Yellow, I would only drink it if it was free. Green, I would buy this. Blue, I would seek this out. And you know what we're going to do? We are going to hold off on playing What Would You Pay for This? We're going to do it throughout the other segments of the show. So we're going to start with where you would rate this on the Morse Whiskey Rating Code, because I think this one is going to get significant debate and discussion. This is one where I'm going to challenge everybody here to potentially change the vote of some people in the room. So Renee, let's start with you. Where do you rate this on the Morse Whiskey Rating Code?
This is a definite green.
Definite green.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Walker, where do you put this one?
Definite blue.
Definite blue. All right. Caleb,
I marked down blue while you were talking.
you marked down blue. So Renee, I'm split on this one. I don't know whether I want to give this one a green or a blue. It is
Have you ever wanted an
fantastic.
apricot, whatever, at all in your life?
No.
fair.
But
I
now
have
you
not.
do.
Especially a
Like it
candied
drove
one.
you.
No, I have not wanted a candied apricot
Yeah.
ever.
I couldn't even pick that fruit out at the grocery store.
It did drive me to that point.
And I'll be honest with you, we've had several red lines. I've had a few of them at Mr. Lester's.
Yeah. I'm
And
never
it's-
disappointed.
It's a good whiskey. Do I see it as a blue? No. It's just, look, we've had some outstanding whiskeys that were blues. I just don't think this is one of them.
Imagine this.
It's not something that I would seek out.
Imagine this with like a blackberry cobbler and homemade like Chef Willie ice cream on top.
Oh yeah, I would seek that out, but this ain't it. But I know where to seek that out.
Okay.
I just go to Mr. Lester's and it's done.
I'm gonna tell you what I almost think of this, and I almost think put this in a brandy snifter
Ooh.
Yeah,
and warm it up.
yeah.
There is
just.
It's
I'll be honest
desserty.
with you. In a brandy snifter, just holding it in your hand will generate enough heat. I think you'll get a lot of aroma off of it. I mean, it's I don't know. I'm
which
almost
now-
there with my Glencairn. It's just, I still agree.
which makes me
Come on, Cavan, go to the green side.
here's why
Come on, Kermit.
I can't. I can't go to the green side. And here's why. Because the uniqueness, and this is the deciding factor for me. This is unique. This is not what you're going to get in another bottle. This is not, and I love all the Buffalo Trace B-Tax. I love a George T. I love the Michter's 10-year. I love that bourbony McBourbon. This gives you something just a little bit different that I've never had anywhere else in any other bottle. So that's why I've got to go blue on this. This is going to end up in deep blue, which will have its very special position on the bar at some point, because deep blue and some glasses are going to have to be up there, but we're going to have to add this one.
That might be dangerous to put it by me, though.
I'm not putting it by you. I'm putting it on the bar. The bar's big enough that you'll have to go across somebody to get it.
I can reach.
Yeah. So I've got to go blue on this one.
Yeah.
It is a blue. It is
Look, Renee's over here by himself.
absolutely fantastic.
I told you, they put me in the corner over here.
This is something so incredibly unique, and that's the deciding factor for me. The deciding factor is the uniqueness.
And that's Look, I think this is wonderful. I don't think this would be an everyday drinker for me.
No.
Because of the sweetness, but when I want something different enough, when I want that fruitiness, and like going into fall, this is just a perfect one to have, especially with this cool front coming in. This would be nice to sit out on the back porch and just relax with.
And as this opens up, it loses some of that very apricot-y front to the flavor. It starts giving you a little more hint of apricot and a lot more depth of flavor on it, a lot more of that lean towards the caramel, the vanilla. I'm getting that as it opens up in the glass. This is unique. It is special. If you're at our Weekly Whiskey Partners and you have an opportunity to buy a bottle of the Red Line single barrel, toasted barrel, straight rye whiskey, gotta go for it. This is one that I have to have on the bar. Gotta place it. Matter of fact, you know what the beautiful part of this is? Anybody? Know what the beautiful part of this is? Come on, somebody's got to figure it out.
It's obtainium.
Not only is it obtainium, what did I just say? I said I have to have it on my bar, right?
Oh.
It is on my bar.
It is.
It is on my bar in the Top Secret Podcast lair, which we will come back, tell you more about, tell you what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks when we roll on this episode of Implicit Bias. Your weekly whiskey segment brought to you by New News Markets, Youngsville, Scott, Milton, Maurice. Great selections, great prices. Go find the weekly whiskey you're looking for at Acadiana's favorite whiskey stop.
At Industrial Fabrication Services, we've been serving the oil, gas, agricultural, and refinery industries for 15 years. I'm owner Jonathan Broussard, and I've worked in fabrication and welding, covering a multitude of techniques, processes, and design for over 30 years. Our goal is to be personal and hands-on. Let Industrial Fabrication Services bring your project to life. Call us at 337-330-2326. or find us at ifsllc.net. Industrial Fabrication Services.
Nobody likes to drive around in a grimy ride. Clean that car the Cajun way. Zydeco Ride and Shine Car Wash at 320 Willow and Cajun Car Wash at 510 Lafayette Street in Youngsville are there for you. Our facilities provide you with the best automatic car wash in the Acadiana area. Regulars get a bonus. Buy 3 washes at a location, get the 4th one free. Zydeco Ride and Shine and Cajun Car Wash, keeping Acadiana's rides clean since 2014.
Can't find an Uber or Lyft? Luxury Limo of Lafayette offers scheduled pickups and drop-offs and even airport transportation in style. Get dropped off and picked up in their luxurious 12-passenger Mercedes-Benz Sprinter with limo-style interior or their Cadillac Escalade SUV. Reserve a sleek black town car for a night out with friends or dinner with your sweetheart. That's Luxury Limo of Lafayette, 565-4385 or luxurylimooflafayette.net. Spoil yourself to luxury with Luxury Limo of Lafayette.
Men want to look like men. That means when it's time for a fresh cut, men go where men go. All American Barbering. Licensed barber Nick Duplashan and the staff at All American Barbering do it right. From old school haircuts to straight razor shaves to beard trim and shaping. Even boys look like men after a cut from All American Barbering. A veteran-owned business, All American Barbering is located in Broussard at 807 Albertsons Parkway, Suite B. Schedule your appointment to look like a man at their website, allamericanbarbering.com. Remember, men, when you want to look like a man, go to Broussard. Go to All American Barbering.
Hour 1 of Implicit Bias is brought to you by Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress in Lafayette, Louisiana, featuring Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist, Rene Girard. Go there. He's got 553 square feet of walk-in humidor. The certified Wizard of Tobacco has everything you need. Cigars, pipes, pipe tobacco, cutters, lighters. It's all at Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress. Implicit Bias rolls on. I'm your host, Cavan Bordelon. And let me tell you, we are having an absolutely fantastic time here in the Top Secret Podcast lair, located somewhere in downtown Lafayette, Louisiana. Thanks again to all of our listeners all over the state, whether you're in New Orleans, whether you're in Vidalia, whether you're in Monroe, somewhere else where you are picking us up. We look forward to you finding your implicit bias. If you want to find the rest of this podcast, if you want to see I don't know why you would, what we look like, but it's actually kind of funny, so maybe you do. You can go find us on our webpage, www.implicitbiasradio.com. It's worth the visit. You can find all the back episodes. You can find our whiskey reviews in those episodes. Tons of fun. It's all about your implicit bias, solving the problems of the world, 1, 2, well, sometimes 7 or 8 weekly whiskeys at a time. And I guess after that, fellas, really, what is a problem if you've had 7 or 8?
Driving home?
That would be a problem, yes.
Yeah, that's about the only negative.
Yep, that would be a problem. That is the voice of Caleb Morsey as the Rustic Renegade. You also heard the laugh of Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist, Rene Girard. And, of course, Better Off Dead is in the corner of the Implicit Bias Pledge, Walker Griffon. Walker, I noticed that when you came in today, because you got here a little early, a little bit of a different configuration, the very first thing you did was put on the pledge pin.
It was. That's usually the first thing I do.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that you were watching your P's and Q's because, you know, some of the actives in the Implicit Bias fraternity have told me that maybe it's time for Hell Week. and I'm trying to think, how would we do
Is that
Hell
a
Week?
nervous laugh? Or what
That sounds very nervous.
No.
That sounds nervous,
Not
yeah, because I'm
nervous.
thinking
Never nervous.
I'm thinking Kennedy would need to be a guest on the show during Hell Week. I'm thinking that might have to happen. A surprise guest, yes. Yeah, that could be fun.
I like where this is going.
That could be fun. I just, no.
Or what about we could have Kennedy and his dad?
Oh, that could be tons of fun. Yes.
Think of all the secrets that would come out.
Oh, that would be fun. We're going to put his dad at the bar. That would be fun. No, I just, maybe. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I just don't know if we're going to do a full-on Hell Week. I mean, Frank the Tank, a.k.a. Lee Ritter, he's maybe gone a little too far with this, just like Frank the Tank, but that's all right, because I know if he was here, Walker, he'd look at you and say, "You're my boy, Walker." All right, let's dive into some of our stories from this week. And this one, I love how this one has been brushed under the rug, because the mantra after Donald Trump spoke at the National Republican Convention, the Republican National Convention, there was one word that kept coming up from every single Democratic pundit across every single station and every single platform. Does anybody remember what that one word that you kept hearing was?
Lies?
Joy.
No, it wasn't joy. It was. They
was
kept calling.
joy.
I've never
they
known
kept
that
calling
party to
him.
say anything joy.
That was after the Democratic National Convention.
Oh, okay.
They kept calling. They kept saying lies. He lied. He's a liar. That's all he did was lie. He lied. Lied. Right?
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Correct. At least he didn't say he worked at McDonald's.
Yeah.
That, you know, if that's your claim to fame.
Well, let's back up this story, because I initially was like, okay, she said she worked at McDonald's. So for those who don't know, the Democratic nominee apparently went out there and stated that she worked at McDonald's. And people started looking into this and going, did she work at McDonald's? What did she do at McDonald's? Renee, do you know what she did at McDonald's? Could you find it?
Well, she said she did fries.
She said she did fries.
Wait, they have someone hired? They pay someone just to cook fries?
Oh, yeah. You can be assigned to the fry station.
So then one person who cooks fries messes them up?
So did I.
I did not.
When you work at McDonald's, the first thing you do, fries.
So in other words,
you usually stay on fries for like 2 or 3 days, and then they move you on to something else.
But here's the best part of this. The best part of this is, you know why they give you fries? Because you're not smart enough at that point to do anything else.
Yes.
So she picks if you're working a fry station, I apologize. She picks the lowest requisite job in McDonald's as the job that she was tasked with. That is number one. You know how hard it is to mess up? Put fries in basket. Put basket in grease, press timer. When timer goes off, shake basket without burning down restaurant. When timer goes off again, take basket out, dump, put salt, put fries back in basket. That's the whole job.
Wait, and you said they normally take you off of fries after like 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, usually.
Sometimes it takes a little longer than that, but
well,
so if that's what she remembers,
it depends on how good you are.
If that's what she remembers, how long did she stay on fries?
Well, so that's if she was actually on fries.
Yes.
Because now there apparently is zero evidence that the woman ever worked at McDonald's.
I saw a deal parent company, McDonald's, corporate, has no record of her ever working at McDonald's.
Of all things to like fudge your record about, why? I mean, and I get trying to connect because according to McDonald's, 1 in 8 people has worked at their restaurant. I have never worked at McDonald's. I worked at a traditional restaurant and hated it.
Yeah.
I guess to connect, but like of all things to lie about.
Well, so no, you hit the nail on the head when you said to connect, because this is where I was kind of like, she lied about working at McDonald's? That was dumb. Why would you do that?
Well, she's trying to make herself look like a regular person. Everybody thinks she's an elitist, which I don't think she is, but
I don't know
she's
how many
trying to
regular people were paid to be Montel Williams' arm candy. I mean, well, hold on. Let me.
Well, yeah, but she probably did this before she got promoted to Montel Williams' arm candy.
She did this before she got the promotion to side chick. Yeah. Anyway, here's the thing, and this is where I went, oh, when I saw it. Her campaign took this lie and put it into a television commercial.
Oh, really?
They were running it in certain states as a television commercial to make herself relatable. In other words, not only did we get the lie, they doubled down and promoted the lie.
Is McDonald's a major donor to her campaign or something?
It's not that McDonald's is a major donor to her campaign. What it is that people, to your point, want to be able to recognize her as she's a normal person.
She's one of us.
Yes.
And she's
one
not.
Of us.
And it tells you how badly she's lying about her being normal.
It's just like Joe being a truck driver and getting oil cancer and
his uncle was eaten by cannibals
and he was raised in a Puerto Rican neighborhood going to a black church and I mean he does everything. He wants to pass himself off to be more acceptable to regular people.
And keep going with those lies, because remember, anybody know the first thing what derailed his first presidential campaign? Joe Biden?
Yeah, he was
He was lying about his credentials.
Well, that and
his,
he was
multiple degrees.
That and what's the word when you use other people's words? Copy
plagiarism.
Yes, that's the one.
Yep.
They popped him for plagiarizing speeches and all kinds of stuff.
They popped him for plagiarizing speeches. He was on camera. Please don't believe us on this. Sam Donaldson ran the piece where they said, here's what he said, and they had him on camera. This is back when AI wasn't a thing as far as videos were concerned, at least that we know of. And he was saying, I graduated with multiple degrees, top of my class. I was on a full ride scholarship, when in fact he got no scholarship. He only got 1 degree and he was bottom third of his class.
Yeah, but Cavan, it was a very small class.
Still bottom third.
How dare you fact check?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Renee, it wasn't a class of 3, okay?
Oh,
there's no way
okay.
where he could be bottom third and still be top of his class.
Yeah.
That's the only way it would have worked. He was not. But she is just carrying this on, and everybody's carrying this water for her.
Well, maybe it's not necessarily she is carrying it on. Maybe they, we can use the term they collectively.
2 months
because
ago,
it works for them.
2 months ago, they were seriously considering finding somebody to run because they knew they were pushing Joe out, and they didn't want her to run.
2 months ago.
And they couldn't find anybody, so now she's the greatest thing ever.
Well, 2 months ago, it was, the president's in great shape. He's mentally sharp. He's this, he's that. She stood behind him, and then all of a sudden it was the person that we didn't want to run. It's the best candidate that we have.
Yes.
Oh, and how did we all forget this? How did everyone who sat there and saw them and heard them all of a sudden say, blank screen, you're right?
So how about this one? And this is maybe bringing us back to this particular topic of how do we know that it's her pushing the lie as opposed to somebody else? Here's how we know. This has happened multiple times. And I am a believer that everybody who's put in front of a microphone enough times needs to be given grace, because at some point you're going to say something that someone can take out of context, that someone can edit and say, you said this. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. However, when you start to establish a pattern of things happening that puts you in a bad light, now you go, okay, so first of all, there was Kamala Harris, in front of an inner city crowd. I believe it was Detroit.
Yep. Detroit.
So she goes to Detroit, and all of a sudden, she has a brand new accent. Now, we've seen LSU's alleged football coach, Brian Kelly, do this. We saw Hillary Clinton do this. The I ain't no way tired speech by Hillary Clinton. So we've seen this, but they each did it once. Now, all of a sudden, Kamala Harris ends up somewhere else. She's speaking in a different accent. She has done this now, 2-3 times? Where she has changed her accent depending upon the crowd. She is willing to say, I will do and be whatever you want me to be, whatever you want me to be, if it gets me into that seat of power.
A gosh darn social chameleon.
Oh, I don't know about a social chameleon. A lizard is definitely right, but I don't know.
Slee stack.
Yeah.
This is just like a lounge lizard. Anyway, this has gone to the point of straight past fast with this. It's gone straight to plaid with the lie.
I like that reference.
You got to love the Spaceballs reference, right?
And I think it just goes to show how ignorant they think the average voter is. How they think that we're just going to say, okay, yeah, it doesn't add up. But you know what? Gosh darn it, it's worth my vote.
And she talks like us.
And I love that we brought it back here, because the reality is, you might not like our political stance on a lot of things if you're listening to this show. Some of you probably do agree with us. Our political stance is we like truth. We will tell you when we think that anyone on any side of the aisle has done something wrong. They should be investigated. They should go to jail if they're guilty of an actual crime, not if they're guilty of lawfare. But we here, the one thing I can unequivocally say about every person here in this top secret podcast, Lair Bar, every person in here, we think you're smarter than this. We think you are more capable than to buy the lie that they are telling you. We think you are capable of doing your own research. We think you are capable of understanding more. We think you are capable of having your own implicit bias as opposed to the implicit bias they tell you to have. So to keep growing your own set of implicit bias, come back for the final segment of Hour 1 right after this.
I'm Lee Ritter with Ritter Consulting Engineers. If you're in the real estate industry or property management, you may need to take a look at us. We offer advanced drone services providing aerial photography, site surveys, and roof inspections. We also offer state-of-the-art 3D imaging for accurate and detailed floor plans and site models for your use. If you're a real estate agent looking to up your game, give us a call, 337-984-8498 or RitterConsultingEngineers.com.
How sweet it is. Gambino's Bakery of Lafayette can satisfy all of your bakery needs. Cakes, cookies, pastries, melt in your mouth pedophores, wedding cakes, and of course, the original New Orleans Dauberge cake. Family owned and operated, let Gambino's Bakery take care of all your dessert needs for your family gathering, tailgate, holiday, or any special occasion. Visit with the baking professionals in Lafayette. Find what fits your taste. Enjoy the sweet life with Gambino's Bakery of Lafayette, 3802 Johnston Street. Call them at 337-406-9066 or online at gambinos.com.
Hey there, Louisiana. It's time to unlock your inner confidence and shine like never before. Visit Eon of Louisiana Body Contouring. Imagine sculpting your dream body with the latest, most advanced techniques. Kiss those stubborn inches goodbye. Eon's team of experts will make those curves pop and those problem areas disappear. Our treatments have no downtime and can be completed on your lunch break. Let your beauty and your confidence shine. Book your consultation now at eonoflouisiana.com. That's EONofLouisiana.com.
Results may vary. Consultation required.
Drink Cacheri's Coffee, the official coffee of Implicit Bias. Available at La Creperie on Colley's Saloon, at the Rustic Renegade, Automotive Gear on Judson Walsh and Opelousas, and the Chill House, the dessert destination in Maurice. Cacheri's Coffee, the official coffee of Implicit Bias. Hour 1 of Implicit Bias is brought to you by Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress in Lafayette, Louisiana, featuring Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist, Rene Girard. Go there. He's got 553 square feet of walk-in humidor. The certified wizard of tobacco has everything you need. Cigars, pipes, pipe tobacco, cutters, lighters. It's all at Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress. Final segment, hour one, this week's episode of Implicit Bias. I'm your host, Cavan Bordelon. We have, man, the digs are just comfortable now in the top secret podcast layer, except for the fact that, it's still like 100 and something degrees down here in Lafayette, Louisiana. And the outside temps let you know it. We are really, really looking forward to when the weather outside gets a little more comfortable. The TSPL, I told our business partner who is kind of in charge of the building, I was like, man, if you ever just see the alarm code get put in and it's mine at like 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, it's just a bunch of us hiding from our wives because we are comfortable in here now. Renee, you seem like you want to chime in.
Yeah, I mean, it's like our landlord.
He's kind of like a landlord.
He's
really
our
not.
landlord.
He's really not. He's not a slumlord. He's
Well, I didn't say nothing about slum. You said that word. I just said landlord. You're the one that brought that up.
That is the voice of Renee Girard, Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist. We also have with us the rustic renegade, the tan, the myth, the legend, and the tan, of course, is fading because we're getting ready for hunting season. Caleb Morse is with us.
I'm losing. I got to get out in the sun more often. I'll be there Sunday.
Yeah, look, I've got a few more weeks to kind of be out there, be in the sun, get a little more sweat in before the weather sets in. And then, of course, in the corner, he is better off dead. Walker Griffon, the Implicit Bias Pledge. So let's dive into maybe our last story of this hour, which is really, really, what, Walker, did you say something?
No,
we don't care.
I'm looking at him and I'm realizing like how tan I am because look at his little elbow pits. Look how white you are.
Dude, you are making him blush. His face is red like a cherry.
Like underneath my arms?
Yeah.
Well, I don't lay like this.
Nobody can see that.
So
we are
just
on the
so you know,
radio.
lay like this.
Yeah.
He starfished. That's what he just did. He starfished.
All right, so let's talk about, and this is an important story. I think this is one that may be the most important this week just from a legal perspective, and it is this. I believe it happened in Minnesota, Caleb?
Kansas.
Okay, Kansas. Thank you. Same thing.
They're very close.
Kansas, Minnesota, same thing. Anyway, Kansas. A charge was filed against an individual for unlawful possession of a machine gun, correct?
Yes.
He defended himself and said, number one, I can have this. That was his defense. His defense was, I get to have this. That is his entire defense. And the judge went, you know what? You're right. Now, this is a federal judge. Fill us in on the details of this, if you would, Caleb.
This is a federal judge. And look, for people out there that are thinking, what the hell? You can legally own machine guns. And a machine gun is pull the trigger. It fires more than one round. Let go of the trigger. It stops. There's a $200 tax associated with them, and they must be what's called transferable. Otherwise, there's more restriction upon them. So they are illegal to own. This person did not have what we would consider normally a legally manufactured, legally purchased machine gun. He had an AR-15 manufactured by Anderson Manufacturing, which is semi-auto, and he had converted it or put a device in it that would convert it. Now, the court case says he used a Glock switch. Look, that's like saying I put four-wheel drive on my Honda Prelude. It doesn't really work that way.
Okay.
So that part is irrelevant. But he had a device on there to convert it to full auto. And the judge came out and said that, look, the Second Amendment goes through with what would be banned at that point in time. And at that point in time, whenever that came out, if machine guns if they would have existed, you could have owned them. You could have possessed them, and they would have been legal to own. And what we would consider a machine gun came out with some Maxim, the Hiram Maxim machine gun, the suppressors, so forth. There were other firearms that existed where you pulled the trigger and it shot 20 rounds at one time.
A Thompson, a Tommy gun, right?
A Tommy gun, yeah. So that's 1930s. And those were legal to own up until the Gun Control Act of 1963-64, where they were banned, which I am hoping this gets over, that overturns all this.
What was the Gun Control Act, 1934?
1934, not 64.
Yes, 34, yes.
34. 68 was when you had to start filling out 4473s.
Yeah, you did 4473s, and then they had to be registered.
Okay,
right.
So hold on.
Right.
So hold on. 4473 for those who don't know, like
federal background check form.
Okay,
yeah, that's the federal firearms form.
So you have what's called a transferable, and then you have what's called a post sample, then you have what's called a pre sample. A post sample means made after 1984. only can be possessed by a dealer such as myself with a Class 3 license or a federal agency or law enforcement agency.
Which is why if you want to own a transferable older machine gun, they are ridiculously expensive because they don't make them anymore. You can't get them.
So I've got a transferable Tommy gun right now in the shop and a transferable M16 that are both $30,000.
For example, when was that Tommy gun made? The one that you got?
The Tommy gun, it's a post-war. It's like 1942.
So that would have been... So it was the 68 Gun Control Act that stopped the transfer?
That's where it stopped.
So anything made before
after.
68?
Yep.
Okay.
And here to me is the most moronic part of this, which is the law that came out to stop machine guns in the 30s, 1934. Is that what we said?
Yeah, 34 to 64 is whenever it happened. Yeah.
So that really was initiated because of the Valentine's Day Massacre.
It was.
What they said was, and for those who aren't familiar with the Valentine's Day Massacre in Chicago, a mob hit where they killed, 7 people on Valentine's Day with hundreds, if not thousands of rounds from Tommy guns. But it was criminal activity. So it was like, hold on a minute. And this is how we started doubling down on stupid.
It was criminal on criminal.
Right.
And they passed the tax, which is the NFA tax, which was $200 back then, which was outrageous. It's still $200 now.
But here's the even dumber part. The even dumber part is it illegal to kill someone with a handgun in this country?
Oh, yeah.
So wait a minute. So now, not only do you break the law, so hold on, I'm breaking the law, I'm murdering someone, but I'm not going to do it because now it's illegal for me to own the machine gun. That is the dumbest thing on the planet. It's like when we came out with all the extra kickers. It's illegal to kill someone. You are already breaking the law. If a law would stop it, guess what? It would already be stopped. But laws aren't going to stop it.
You don't need a machine gun to kill somebody.
Well, there's the other part.
You could use a slingshot, and you know what? That's illegal too.
Yeah.
Or you could have what happened in Great Britain just a couple weeks ago. Anybody remember what happened in Great Britain just 2-3 weeks ago?
Was that the mass stabbing?
It was a mass stabbing. Right? I mean, now we're getting to the point where it's like, oh, you can kill somebody with a fork. We're going to outlaw forks.
I'm waiting for someone to sue their own government because the government's not doing an adequate job of protecting them, because that's what it comes down to. When the government says you can't bring a firearm into a protected zone, a gun-free zone, they should, you can't bring your firearm to protect yourself, they should provide adequate protection for you.
I want to see armed security there.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait. In places where you can't have guns, you want people with guns? Why would you want people with guns? Because if nobody has a gun in that area, why would you need someone with a gun?
Just in case.
Because like you said...
Just in case somebody doesn't pay attention to the rule.
Because like you said, criminals don't care about breaking laws.
And therein lies the worst part of all of this. This just reminds me of what we saw in the movie Office Space, just at a governmental level. It's like people with jobs are like, okay, I got to justify keeping my job. So let's see. I know it's illegal to drive over the speed limit. Let's make it double illegal to drive a truck over the speed limit, right? It's they're just like, well, let's spend time creating that law and then claim, hey, look at all the good things we've done.
Yeah, look at the lives we've saved. And in reality, they've done nothing. When we talk about machine guns, right? So a machine gun, you might have a rate of fire of somewhere around 150, 130, 150 rounds per minute, sometimes higher. And then we look at mass casualties, these mass shootings. The average rounds per minute in one of these mass shootings, do you have any guess what they are?
I don't even want to gander at this.
7.
All you need is 7.
7 rounds per minute is the average tempo.
Which means that you could get a 6-shot revolver, expire every round, pop them out, take a speed loader, throw it back in seconds, and in under a minute shoot 12 and be ahead.
So the average rate of fire of an untrained person shooting a single shot rifle, load 1 round, shoot, unload, extract the round, load, is 12 rounds per minute.
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah, well, I know you're big into stats and stuff. How many shootings use a fully automatic weapon?
None in my lifetime. None in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I can't think of any mass shootings in the U.S. that have ever used a fully automatic.
Yeah.
Fully automatic.
Another one. How many of those shootings had a silencer or a suppressor?
There have been 0. And you know that, like, I think it's 92%.
So, you know, the government is leading us to believe that all these shootings happen with fully automatic weapons with suppressors.
Yep.
And we've talked about this on the show. Take a guess what kills more people in this country every year than guns. Hammers and screwdrivers.
Yep.
That's a statistical fact. Please don't believe us on this.
Slot or Phillips?
Well, so the Phillips, those are assault screwdrivers, and they require a $200 tax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, and unfortunately where it's going. You know, I'm thinking like we're starting to live Mrs. Doubtfire. It was a drive-by fruiting, right? I mean,
that's where we are.
That is where we've gone to. We've gone to the point where we're like, oh, if you throw a fruit at somebody, like, oh, I threw a pear at you. Uh-oh. Now all of a sudden I'm going to be charged with some different sort of crime.
Can you even say throw a fruit anymore?
Well, if you are talking about throwing a pear, yes, you can. And we're going to leave it right there. But you know, heaven forbid you throw a fruit of mass destruction like a watermelon at someone.
Ooh, all those
seeds. Then all of it, the seeds, and it's just so sticky. I can't, no. Yeah, so amazing where we are headed and where we need to go. But hopefully, Caleb, and this is maybe the big thing of this, which is we now have a precedent at a federal level. So
I'm pumped about it because this could really make things easier for people who want to collect these firearms, want to enjoy them. And look,
theoretically, I could buy this, and if I got arrested for it, use this ruling and say you can't even charge me with it because a federal judge says I can have it.
Now,
you're right.
Let me ask you, Caleb, do you know if the weapon that this guy possessed, if that was a transferable?
It was not. It was not.
So it was after 68 manufactured.
Hey, we have got to go to a hard break. If you are not going to catch hour 2 of this week's episode of Implicit Bias because your affiliate doesn't carry it, go to www.implicitbiasradio.com. Find us wherever you procure your podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, you name it, we're there. Or even better yet, just come back for hour 2 of this week's episode of Implicit Bias.
Hey folks, it's your buddy John Rich from Big and Rich. You know, the weather's getting warmer, the days are getting longer, and there's never been a better time to celebrate your freedom. If you're looking for that perfect cocktail to celebrate with, make it Redneck Riviera American Blended Whiskey. From the glass to the cork to the juice inside, it's 100% made in America, incredibly smooth, affordable, and proudly supporting the Folds of Honor. Visit redneckriviera.com to find a store near you. Drink American.
Hey Acadiana, I'm Kathleen Terrio with Next Home Cutting Edge Realty. I know realtors seem to be on every corner, but the good ones aren't. I promise to give you top-notch customer service that includes honesty, availability, and professionalism. If you're looking for a realtor you can trust and is available during your most important purchase, call me, Kathleen, where the service goes beyond the closing day. For all your commercial needs, investment properties, or your next home, call Kathleen with Next Home Cutting Edge Realty, 337-412-1536. That's 337-412-1536. Or find me on the web searching Kathleen Terrio Realtor.
Dupree Carrier Godshaw provides insurance locally as well as nationwide. A full-service agency, Dupree Carrier Godshaw can take care of all of your needs, from personal auto, home, or business, group health, life, or investment products. Dupree Carrier Godshaw is a growing business and is currently hiring. Email resumes to charlesl@dcgagency.com. For all of your insurance needs, call Dupree Carrier Godshaw at 337-948-8186 or visit dcgagency.com.
This is Louis Pizzolata, the owner of Coin and Treasure. We're your local source for rare coins, bullion, silver, and gold. In these unprecedented and uncertain times of government overreaching and economic instability, the security of having gold and silver is the perfect way to diversify your portfolio. Both gold and silver have been the tangible assets since the beginning of recorded times. Visit us today at Coin and Treasure. We are local, experienced, and still American-owned and American-proud. For 43 years, it's Coin and Treasure, 2472 West Congress.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent NewsTalk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hour 2 of Implicit Bias is brought to you by William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnson Street in Lafayette, Louisiana. Go find Grant Galatas. Tell him you want bigger, better diamonds for less, whatever you need, whatever you're looking for. They'll customize something just for you to make sure that your special someone gets that something oh so special. William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnson Street, Lafayette. Hour 2 of Implicit Bias, the refined debauchery is underway. I am your host, Cavan Bordelon, and let me tell you, we are just having too much fun. We are way too relaxed in the top secret podcast lair located somewhere in downtown Lafayette, Louisiana. Let me introduce you to the crew for those who are just joining us now for Hour 2. He is behind the bar. He is Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist. He is Rene Girard, and he decided to take a drink while I'm introducing him.
It was water, so I did it quick.
Yeah, I know it was water.
Because I got whiskey also. I got whiskey also.
Well, you should have whiskey because we have a new weekly whiskey. Well,
Yeah.
actually, this is kind of a monthly whiskey because this is available at Mr. Lester's. We'll talk about it in a minute. Yeah, okay, good. Renee, we're glad you're here.
Yes.
And hopefully the seat from behind the bar is comfortable, and hopefully the view, well, you're looking at Walker, so I apologize. Anyway, Walker, who is across the room from Renee, sitting behind the control panel. Walker, for those of you who don't know, Walker is responsible for you hearing us. Without Walker, this doesn't happen, so we are thrilled that the Implicit Bias Pledge is here again this week.
Glad to be here.
How do you like your weekly whiskey so far?
This one?
Well, the first one, after it warmed up,
it got better. It opened up.
It was a blue and it got better. I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree. That red line, straight rye, single barrel, toasted barrel was off the charts good. Which brings us to somebody who is also off the charts good. And I can't believe I just said that. He is the rustic renegade. He is the rustic renegade. He is the Tan, the myth, the legend. He is Caleb Morse.
I love that you said that. Like, the off the charts good. That just makes me feel exquisite.
All right, Will Ferrell. I should be smelling of luscious berries and fine meats and cheeses, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So let's dive in as we start hour 2, because what we're going to introduce you to
I thought
in
we
hour
already
2.
dove in.
Well, not really, because we just introduced everybody.
Just redive?
The topics, we got to dive into some very specific things.
He just stuck his toe in the water. That was it. It wasn't a dive.
So you're redovering?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
redovering. All right. Let's talk about, number 1, the weekly whiskey or monthly whiskey that is available at Mr. Lester's Steakhouse this month. And this is an old favorite here on Implicit Bias. This we got a taste of maybe a couple years ago, and it became unobtainium.
Yeah.
You could then start to find some of it here or there, but it's still not necessarily easy to find. Mr. Lester's Steakhouse, though, they've found it. The only 5-star restaurant between New Orleans and Houston down at Cypress Bayou Casino. And guess what? We're going to be back there. We're going to be recording from there. You're going to be able to see us there again. I have a bad feeling there's going to be a lot of Hawaiian shirts there as we close out the summer.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, Lord. All right. This, though, is the Redemption Cognac Cask Finished Bourbon. Let's start with Renee behind the bar. Renee, what do you think of this one?
I love it.
You love it?
The only thing I worry about, though, is by the time we get to Mr. Lester's, I hope they're not sold out.
Because you know that they are selling this at absolutely...
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous, stupid prices.
We've done that before.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but they might sell it out before we get a chance to get it.
Look, this is going to be like...
Oh, that's a new level of fear.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you. It's urgent.
This is going to be Kamala Harris stupid level pricing.
Yeah.
It's going to be that dumb. Like, they're going to ask Chef Willie...
Wait, you mean every man affordable? Sorry, I couldn't.
That was well played. Well played. We need the bell. I don't know where the bell went, but
I don't know
we need the
either.
bell. It's okay. We'll put it at the bar in just a little
That's
while.
all right. That's all right.
No,
Walker can make the sound with his mouth.
Here's the deal. Go ahead, Walker.
Ding.
They're going to ask Chef Willie how much this is a pour, and he's going to say, "This is your opportunity to be unburdened from the pores that were poured by the pourer, because this is going to be at a level of pricing that isn't priced by the priced. It's going to be priceless, not meaning that it is so expensive that it is priceless, but meaning that the price is less.
Good job.
That's where this is going to go. I can see this coming.
Okay, do the cackle.
Oh, I can't do the
No,
cackle.
come on. You do the other part
impressive.
so well.
I can't do the cackle. I can do the, see, all I have to do is pretend like I had the IQ of that sofa across the room, and I come up with speaking
That's
like
offensive
her.
to sofas.
It is offensive to
You
sofas.
need an IQ that high?
Well, look, all I'm going to say is this. That sofa looks like it's been laid on a lot. So,
Oh, snap.
where is it, Walker? Where is it? Where is it? Ding. There we go. All right. So, Renee, you love this cognac cask finish. What specifically do you like about it?
It's just, I find this one a lot smoother than the first whiskey we did. It's just very smooth whiskey. It's a great taste. Redemption is we've had that several times on the show. In fact, one of my favorite episodes is when Congressman Clay Higgins was here. We had Redemption.
We had a very special redemption.
Yes.
We had a redemption 10-year rye.
I think we have bracelets that say redemption on them.
Yes,
right
we
now.
do. I'm
Just to
wearing mine
remind
now.
you of it. I don't have one. You didn't give me one. So it's-
Well,
I feel shame.
That I can rectify that.
All right, Walker, your thoughts on this redemption cognac cask finish?
This one's awesome. I like this one a lot. I haven't really had time to like get a taste or anything. You kind of came to me a little too quick. I thought.
Well, then how do you know it's awesome?
Well,
How do you know
I've had
it's
a little
awesome?
bit, but I haven't been able to like.
Well, then you've had enough.
No.
Yes, you've
I've
had
like
enough.
two sips.
Go on. Let me see you take a third and a fourth. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll fill the time for you while you're doing that. Look
looks
at you
like-
taking a big boy drink.
It looks
so
like his
proud.
glass is empty.
So proud.
His glass is empty now.
It is very impressive. It's a good one. I love how you're taking this in.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He's all serious over
Cherry
there.
Coke.
Cherry Coke. You gotta love the 12-year-old palate across the room. This tastes like cherry gummy bears with a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty accurate.
All right, Caleb, let's hear a refined palate on this one.
I want to despise it. And every time we've had this, when I hear it, I'm like, oh. And then I taste it. And God, man, they do such a good job. The cognac finish is not something that if I saw this on a shelf, I would keep walking. I really would. After having it, I'd want to buy it. Because I've never thought cognac. Yeah, I want that. Because when I have port finish and all these other finished, I'm not happy with them. This cognac finish comes out so smooth, and it's got a little bit of sweetness, probably a little bit more than I really like would give a blue, but it's sweeter than your average, but it doesn't linger.
It's not too much.
Yeah, it doesn't stay on the palate. It's not like a glass of diabetes.
It is really easy to jack up a finish like somebody's who looks like their face was on fire and it got put out with a fork, right? It's easy to jack up a finished whiskey like that.
Well, and I mean, I know the finished whiskeys we've had, you're not a big fan of.
No.
But
And
this doesn't hit
This is
that
superb.
like that.
What's
Yes.
the proof on this? This has got to be like 102.
Nope, this is like 86, I think.
Really?
This is
It's
a
a little
lower
bit warmer
proof.
than I would have expected.
99.
99. Okay, 99. I knew it was under 100. I thought it was in the
Okay.
80s for some reason.
I figured low 100s.
Yeah, I mean, this
is
up my wheelhouse right here.
I mean, it's very
it's
smooth.
right at
It's
100.
very approachable. Redemption has always done. They've been very consistent, and their cognac finish. Like, I'm not a cognac guy. I'll never sit down and be like, cognac, Cavassier.
Strong.
No,
Yeah,
I don't do
cognac's
that.
a little bit of a strong flavor.
Yeah.
You know,
But this,
it's good.
just the crisp, clean finish.
Now,
It's
one of the
very
things I got to tell you, if you're walking by, like you were talking about, walking by in the store, you'll just pass this by. The bottle doesn't stand out. It's
Their
a
labels,
short.
all Redemption's labels are very, very
It's a short,
unassuming.
squatty bottle. It's very plain, small label. Just says Redemption on it. It's
But
nothing
you know what?
fancy.
You know where it will stand out? It will stand out in the cigar lounge at Mr.
Oh,
Lester's
yeah.
Steakhouse down in Baldwin, Louisiana. The only restaurant in the state of Louisiana where you can smoke a cigar in the cigar lounge and then walk right next door into the cigar dining room, the private dining room, and have an absolutely fantastic meal. So let's jump from there to what is part and parcel to Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist, the only certified wizard of tobacco in the universe. Renee, what is our cigar of the month? I mean, you've got ashtrays sitting in front of you on the bar.
Yeah, I mean, which is very tempting. I'm sitting here chewing on a cigar because I'm not allowed to smoke one in here, and I want to so bad with these whiskeys. But yeah, the cigar this month, what we're going to do is the OFC, was Osgener Family Cigars. Now, Tim Osgener, him and his father, started a company before called CAO.
Really?
And they sold it a few years back. Tim got out the business for a while, couldn't stay out because cigars is just one of those
Well, he
things.
got out the business because he got paid to get out of the business, and that time expired.
When
That's
you're
what
good at
happened.
what you do, you're good at what you do.
His actually no-compete
He had
clause
no
ran
compete?
out long
Oh,
time
okay.
ago.
Really?
He just missed it so much, he decided to come back in and start up his family cigars again. And so there's 3 different cigars he's doing now. And this Saturday, or when you hear this broadcast, today from noon to 3, he's doing a blending seminar at the shop. And I've known Tim for 25 years. He's a great guy, very funny guy, very, very informative when he does it. It just, he's doing a whole blending thing, telling you how he blends his cigars and the right way to do it. So if you're interested and you hear this, early in the morning, come by. We'll be there.
And if you're listening on podcast, so for those of you out there
On Friday, yeah.
If you're listening and you're like, man, I wish I would have known this, our podcast always hits at least a day early.
Now it is a ticketed event, so you need to come by. We only have places for 20 people. I got a few left because most people wait till the last minute to buy their tickets.
A lot do.
So come by and buy your
But
ticket.
if you want to get advance notice, find us wherever your podcasts are purveyed. Google, Spotify, Apple Podcast Store. Find us, because if you want that advance notice, trust me, there are some things that we do where it will benefit you to know before everybody else.
Well, and for Renee to say that someone is informative, that's
With cigars,
impressive.
yeah.
That's impressive because you spout off knowledge when it comes to tobacco cigars, sun-grown versus shade-grown, and all the other things that, just dumbfounds me. It really does.
I've been doing this. In fact, 2 weeks from now, it'll be my 39th year of having the shop.
Wow.
September 14th is our 39th anniversary.
Congratulations. Renee, how long have you been a certified master tobacconist?
Since the dawn of time.
No, they didn't start that when I first started. Probably about, I'm saying close to 20 years now.
See, I'm close to you because I identify as a certified master tobacconist, and I'm just going to identify that I'm 17 years in.
Yeah.
I'm just going to identify that.
That's all you got to do now.
That's all I got to do right now. That's all I got to say is I identify as that. You can't tell me that I don't.
Yes, I can.
That's how it works.
All right, so Renee, the Ozinger, what's the
Family
rest?
Cigars.
OFC. So OFC, Ozinger Family Cigars. Okay, OFC sounds like it's a fantastic offering at the shop.
Oh, yeah, it's a great cigar. I mean, there's 3 different blends that he's doing. We're going to, on the blending seminar, he's going to talk about the 2 first blends, the Bosphorus and the Amorous. His father and mother, they were Turkish and Armenian, which is another thing that he will talk about.
I saw that episode of Back to the Future.
The Turks and Armenians never got along. But
No, not
obviously his mom and father did. And that's what all of his cigars now are they take reference to his family history.
That's really cool. Really, really cool. Outstanding. So again, if you have time and you're in Lafayette, you might be interested in swinging by Renee's shop to talk about that blending cigar or a blending seminar to see if you can get in for that cigar blending seminar. I got to say that 3 times fast.
It's a mouthful.
He might have tickets. Oh God, don't leave that out there like that. Anyway,
pick it up.
You might
with
have
your mouth.
You might have tickets. This is not the Kamala Harris campaign. This is not Harris Walls.
Oh, I could do a lot with Harris Walls.
Oh. I might need a razor because I've got Harris Walls. Anyway, all right. So there are just the problems of the world that we need to solve on this show. And we've got some really fun stories for you in hour 2, just to give you a tease of some of the things that are coming.
Don't tease my walls.
Your Harris.
Yeah. Oh God.
You started this.
I know, and I've got to find a way to end it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to end it. We're going to come back. We're going to start solving the problems of the world one weekly whiskey at a time. Again, here in hour 2, we're going to tell you about what's coming up at Mr. Lester's because we are going to be back there coming up in the month of September. You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook. You will be able to see the top secret podcast lair south at Cypress Bayou Casino, Mr. Lester's Cigar Lounge. But you've got to make sure that you are subscribed. Trust me, you want to go punch follow. There are things that happen there that we don't always talk about. They happen sooner than we talk about them. So you might want to go there. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge for my Monty Python fans. And come back as we continue to roll in hour 2 of Implicit Bias.
Experience Acadiana's most exclusive steakhouse, Mr. Lester's at Cypress Bayou. Make your reservation today. Space is limited. Take Highway 90 to the Baldwin exit.
Ever think about firearm safety? Are you new to shooting? Don't know how to get started? Here's Caleb with the Rustic Renegade.
I love new shooters because they don't have any bad habits yet. So you get somebody who hasn't been around it, hasn't been around firearms, or hasn't done a lot of shooting. We can sit down in a very safe environment where there's no live ammunition, no risk of any residuals, and train them the right way before they actually get on a range and go in and do some live fire.
Why don't you come in and have a cup of coffee with us? The Rustic Renegade and therusticrenegade.com.
Renee Gerard, Acadiana certified master tobacconist, owns Piper's Haven at 3916 West Congress, right between Adrian's and Gilboa Road. How many cigars are in that humidor?
A lot.
100?
Oh, more than that.
Way more than that?
Way more than that.
It don't matter?
Thousands of cigars.
Thousands?
Thousands.
Thousands of cigars in the humidor at Piper's Haven. So you've got all these cigars. You've got pipes and pipe tobacco stuff.
I got pipes, pipe tobacco, cigars, cigar lighters, cigar cutters, pipe lighters, pipe stands, Lamborghini lamps, the scents. I got everything you need.
Really what you need is a great cigar, great conversation at Piper's Haven.
Yeah,
right?
and we need some cool weather because it's too hot to sit on a porch right now.
I agree, but that's okay because you got a smoking room.
Yes, we do. It's an air-conditioned smoking room with a big screen TV.
So if you need a haven from home, you've got Piper's Haven, 3916 West Congress Street, between Adrian's and Gilboa Road. Renee will help you pick out a great cigar.
Hour 2 of Implicit Bias is brought to you by William S. Nacall Jewelers. Grant, what's your address?
802 Johnston.
3802 Johnston Street, William S. Nacall Jewelers, bringing you Implicit Bias. Hour 2 of Implicit Bias is brought to you by William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnston Street in Lafayette, Louisiana. Go find Grant Galatas. Tell him you want bigger, better diamonds for less, whatever you need, whatever you're looking for. They'll customize something just for you to make sure that your special someone gets that something oh so special. William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnston Street, Lafayette. Segment 2, Hour 2, Implicit Bias, back on the air. I'm Cavan Bordelon, and let me tell you, guys, does the TSPL, that's the top secret podcast lair for the uninitiated, does it just feel more cushy this week?
Cushy? Cushy.
Does it feel more bougie this week, maybe?
Yeah.
That's
more
the word I was going to use.
More
Bougie.
exquisite.
Bougie was the word I was going to use.
I'm feeling that 1920s and 30s vibe, so yeah.
Almost
speakeasy.
Oh, almost a speakeasy.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to have the
top-
secret knock and the secret password.
The TSSPL, the top secret speakeasy podcast lair.
We can add more letters to the acronym.
You can
don't
keep
know.
adding.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it does almost give a speakeasy vibe. You know what? If you want to see this, you might want to go subscribe to our socials. Facebook, Instagram, X. We're going to be on all of them. These things are coming, and we love telling you how they're coming. So for those out there who are loyal listeners, you might have noticed there are some references in this week's show where you're like, well, wait, what do they mean by this? Because they've seen pictures of what this looks like on our social, and we've gone dark for a while, but not really, because we've had to do some things, right? Just on social media.
You know, it takes...
Yeah, but you haven't really shown pictures. You've shown pictures of the whiskeys and stuff, but you have not shown pictures of the room.
I've shown pictures of people in the room and things like that, and you can see the room behind them, right? But not necessarily.
Sometimes you have to conceal your movements in the dark.
Every now and then.
Well, yeah, because they might be able to find out where we're at.
Well, and not just that, because you never know when at 3:00 in the morning, we might need to come in and load up something like 6 million votes in the top secret podcast lair just in order to make sure that we win the election the way we want.
We only do that in certain states.
Oh, that's true. They didn't. Yeah, that doesn't happen in Louisiana. That only happens in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona. I'm sorry. It only happens in those 5 states, essentially.
You
Yeah,
know
that's-
why?
Why?
Because you don't have to show an ID to vote in those states.
Ooh.
Imagine.
You know what you also
Louisiana doing a good job.
don't have to do, Renee?
What?
You actually don't have to show up to vote. A piece of paper with the name, and there are some bad ones here, but like a piece of paper with just, some random name on it could show up and they can't challenge it. They got to take it as a vote.
Yep, they take it as a vote.
They got to take it as a vote. But that might be coming to an end, Caleb. You sent the story
pray
over,
it does.
so I'm going to let you set this up.
Well, look, and Speaker Mike Johnson has been kind of sitting in the dark, kind of doing things in behind closed doors. And this is the first time I've seen him kind of just bump something where it needs to be. And that's the SAVE Act, which is where it will require IDs for voting on a national level, because we do that here in Louisiana. If you go to vote, when you go up and you show up or wherever your voting location is, they're going to ask for your ID. They're going to ask you questions based off your ID and your voting record and address and all that stuff, just to confirm you are who you say you are.
And this is really interesting because I believe it was the second Bush election, when they actually brought in international monitors from the UN. And when they showed up in a lot of states, they were like, wait, they don't need ID? Like, they laughed. They were like, this is, there's no
joke.
Nobody's being hindered to vote.
There's no checks.
This is the most unlawful election in the world in the U.S. They went back to Europe laughing about this. But now we might get this, but not because the SAVE Act will pass.
Not
correct?
because it is what it is. It's part of the spending bill, which I think is just phenomenal, because now if the far left wants to say we don't want to vote on this because you shouldn't have to show ID to vote, what does that say about them?
I think there's some better things here that just, man, they really jump out, because this is we believe in you. We believe that you, every legitimate individual American voter, and I say legitimate for a reason. If you really think that there were 81 million votes, if you really
the
believe
most
that,
voted for person in the history of votes.
it didn't happen, right? We believe that your vote needs to count. And for your vote to count, it has to belong to guess who? You.
Well, how many people out there think their vote doesn't count? Walker, do you think your vote really counts? Like, honestly.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And
it does. There are many, many people in your generation that don't vote because at the end of the day, they don't think it counts, because people will steal votes, they will lie about votes, and they will use whatever information they have against you.
I know some people that I'm close with that don't vote because they think it doesn't matter.
It absolutely matters. Renee?
You know what's a shame, though? Is that the military mail-in vote normally doesn't get counted.
No, I voted during a presidential election when I was overseas, and they found our ballots 6 months later. I asked for mine back, but they didn't give it to me.
But the scary thing about this is that Speaker Mike Johnson has to bring it up because Louisiana has one of the most secure voting.
A state known for its corruption that has some of the best voting laws in the
our
nation.
methods are, but the thing is, the federal law states that each state is responsible for making the laws for their vote. The scary thing is now the federal government getting involved to demand that every state has to make a law or follow these federal regulations.
So
that's what worries me.
What I like about this is it creates some guidelines. Yes, it is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Right? It is a slippery slope. However, it doesn't say you can't have mail-ins. It says these are the ways things should be verified. This is what is a verifiable vote. Basically, this is defining what a vote is. I mean, I know we can't define what a woman is in 2024, but this will define what a vote is. It is cast by a particular person, certified by their ID, by their signature, by some way, by a postage stamp, right? It goes through that list. What I really love about this is, you know what we get to say now? And this is, you know what they say about karma? You know what they say that she is to you, that they say karma is. Everybody knows what they say she is. But man,
female dog.
Yes. And karma, because now we get to tell them, well, we have to pass the bill to know what's in it. We get to tell them we don't have to read it. We have to pass it before we can know what's in it.
It's our turn.
Please don't believe me on this. That quote, that's a real quote.
By a person who's been there for a long time.
Who can barely read.
Yeah.
Does that mean that the dead people in New Orleans can't vote anymore?
Oh, now see, and that's a great point, Renee, because this might be where things really get interesting. Because even in a ruby red state like Louisiana, a ruby red state like Texas, like Florida, you still have pockets,
where
of blue. It's not who votes that counts, it's who's counting the votes that count. And this would amend a lot of that. This would be able to rectify, hey, I know that you have St. Louis Cemetery number 13 that showed up and voted all one way, but that necessarily doesn't get to count. Because having a living human being might be one of the stipulations of defining a vote.
And that's one of the things that has always irked me about the 2020 election. You mean to tell me that more people voted for Joe Biden than Barack Obama? That right there is, I would call BS on that.
It's part of the lunacy, right?
I would call BS on a lot of things.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that one thing should tell you that there were shenanigans in that election.
Some people buy that, and they just believe he's that likable with his hairy legs.
And
BS.
This is why we believe in you, because we believe that you are smarter than believing this. We believe that you are smarter than to believe that a guy who never came out of his basement during his campaign somehow garnered more votes than anyone in the history of voting.
Well, and that's the thing, is I believe that the average American is smarter than they think. I believe that there are people out there that will cast a vote just to cancel out my vote, and that's okay. I'm related to some of them that do that. And that is what it is. We don't talk politics because we believe very differently. But at the end of the day, I still love them and want the best for them. And hopefully it's my way.
And hopefully that is the way that we can all move forward. Because let me tell you, when we start thinking about the way that bills are being stacked, and I think maybe this is the bigger thing to come out of all of this, which is, don't think nothing's happening. If you're out there and you're like, man, nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. Look at all the people who've been arrested for having really bad images of children on their computers. Go look at the number of people who have been arrested for spying on this country. Now, the media doesn't want you to hear it.
It's well hidden.
I mean, Hochul, so in New York, Hochul's chief deputy, and I don't remember if the deputy was the wife or the husband, but the couple was arrested in the last, 48 hours when we were recording this episode. The couple was arrested by the feds, not by New York law enforcement, but by the feds. The charges haven't officially come out, but I'm telling you, this is a fang sleeping with the enemy kind of thing, right? Make no doubt about it. If you think other countries aren't influencing our elections by spying on us, if you think other countries aren't influencing our elections with money, if you think that some of your fellow Americans aren't taking money from foreign governments to stick it to you, man, we're sadly mistaken. And I think you're smarter than that. I think we know that. I think you know that.
Well, I mean, it goes to evil exists. And just because you choose to ignore it doesn't mean it ceases to exist. And in the many conversations I've had with our congressman, I always admire his optimistic attitude about our nation and its future.
We have a future on this show, which is really funny because it's about 2.5 to 3 minutes away. We'll be back with more Implicit Bias. We're going to get to some of the fun stories going around right after this commercial break.
Drink Cajun's coffee, the official coffee of Implicit Bias. Available at La Creperie on Colley's Saloon, at the Rustic Renegade, Automotive Gear on Judson Walsh in Opelousas, and the Chill House, the dessert destination in Maurice. Cajun's coffee, the official coffee of Implicit Bias.
At Industrial Fabrication Services, we've been serving the oil, gas, agricultural, and refinery industries for 15 years. I'm owner Jonathan Broussard, and I've worked in fabrication and welding, covering a multitude of techniques, processes, and design for over 30 years. Our goal is to be personal and hands-on. Let Industrial Fabrication Services bring your project to life. Call us at 337-330-2326. or find us at ifsllc.net. Industrial Fabrication Services.
Nobody likes to drive around in a grimy ride. Clean that car the Cajun way. Zydeco Ride and Shine Car Wash at 320 Willow and Cajun Car Wash at 510 Lafayette Street in Youngsville are there for you. Our facilities provide you with the best automatic car wash in the Acadiana area. Regulars get a bonus. Buy 3 washes at a location, get the 4th one free. Zydeco Ride and Shine and Cajun Car Wash, keeping Acadiana's rides clean since 2014.
Can't find an Uber or Lyft? Luxury Limo of Lafayette offers scheduled pickups and drop-offs and even airport transportation in style. Get dropped off and picked up in their luxurious 12-passenger Mercedes-Benz Sprinter with limo-style interior or their Cadillac Escalade SUV. Reserve a sleek black town car for a night out with friends or dinner with your sweetheart. That's Luxury Limo of Lafayette, 565-4385 or luxurylimooflafayette.net. Spoil yourself to luxury with Luxury Limo of Lafayette.
Hour 2 of Implicit Bias is brought to you by William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnson Street in Lafayette, Louisiana. Go find Grant Galatas. Tell him you want bigger, better diamonds for less, whatever you need, whatever you're looking for. They'll customize something just for you to make sure that your special someone gets that something oh so special. William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnson Street, Lafayette.
All right. I got something to say.
Hour 2 of the refined debauchery that is Implicit Bias rolls on. I'm your host, Cavan Bordelon. Welcome into the Top Secret Podcast lair with Renee Girard, Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist, Caleb Morse, the rustic renegade himself, and of course, Walker Griffon, Better Off Dead, the Implicit Bias pledge. You know, we always like to save some stories till the end, but we just had not one, but 2 really good stories that we were like, oh, these, we have to do both of these. So we're going to close out kind of the last half hour of the show with these 2 stories because, man, they are just absolutely fascinating. And Caleb, I know where you're going to drag me with this one, but I've got to read this. And Renee, I don't know if you had a chance to read it when I sent it over, but...
No, because I have an Android.
Yes, this is true. This is true. Your Android messes up everything, just so you know. Because normally when everybody's on an iPhone, I can see things on my computer. I can see it on my phone. I can kind of walk us through this a little more seamlessly. But because you're on an Android, it doesn't go to my computer. It doesn't go.
It's not even that it's an Android. It's like last time I called Renee, he had to unzip the bag first. Walker, you ever seen a bag phone? No,
just go to Renee's
You want me
car.
to bring it next time? I got a Motorola Traveler.
Okay.
I got one.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, I still got it.
So speaking of things, speaking of things from antiquity, this is an interesting conversation. You like that segue? That took me a second. All right. So there is actually a FOIA request. For those who don't know what FOIA is, Freedom of Information Act. Yes, a FOIA request from Trump to the State Department. Now, this is out there. Please don't believe this. But in that FOIA request, this is what is listed. And we're going to explain it a little bit because we can only explain it a little bit. But it is request 2019-02110, requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body, and the location of the buried Nephilim. Okay, so either someone in the Trump administration is the greatest troll in the history of trolls and thought, watch, I'm going to put this in there. Let's see who notices, and when they do, watch what happens. Or they're actually looking for something.
This goes back pretty far.
Oh, okay, so first of all, for those who don't know the Epic of Gilgamesh, right? You have the story of Noah in the Bible. The Epic of Gilgamesh predates that by 1,000 years or so.
Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh is somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 years old. It's a Sumerian text written on 12 clay tablets.
Yep.
Where it's King Gilgamesh, who's a tyrant, who his followers create a clay animal called, I can't remember the name right now. He's the king of Uruk, which some think is Iraq, but it may or may not be.
So it's all the ancient Middle East, basically. Yep. It is Mesopotamia. It is what was known as the Fertile Crescent. Yep.
Induku, or Enkidu. So Enkidu's created. They become best friends after they try to kill each other. All this stuff happens. And it's a really cool epic, really cool poem.
It tells of a great flood.
It does.
That floods the world just like Noah.
Yep, when you look at the time frame and everything else, it really coincides with our Bible.
He builds an ark.
Yep.
Right, just like Noah. But what it doesn't tell you is that there's a resurrection chamber.
There is.
Whoa. Is there in the poem? Or?
Not in the poem. No, it's not in the poem. And what's really cool is when we did the initial invasion of Iraq, most people don't realize that our government and the British government did a lot of Indiana Jones type stuff. And we seized many, many relics.
And artifacts.
Yep. And some of these were the original tablets for Gilgamesh. Some of these were maps and hinting at locations. The British took other things. We kind of divvied up the spoils of war.
Now, for those who don't know, Caleb is former military.
Yeah,
you did 7 tours in Iraq before you went private contractor, correct?
I did 3 years. No, I did
7 years.
3.5, 4 years, 4 years total in Iraq before I went as a private contractor. I've got 7 years, 7.5 years in Baghdad alone. So that area is kind of the seat of humanity, is what we'll call it. And we wanted a lot of these relics and these artifacts from the time. Now, since then, we've given some back. But we've given them back after we ascertained the knowledge that we wanted to acquire. So let's look at just not even the resurrection chamber, but what the Nephilim and Rephilim, which are spoken about in the Bible.
They are.
Many of which would just call them giants.
Which, and this, I knew it was going to bring me to this story. I knew you were going to say that word. I knew it was coming because I was curious of you, and I asked you one night via text about the legend that you see on social media called the Giant of Kandahar.
Yep.
So for those out there listening who may not know what that is, the legend is that special forces, when they got into towns like Kandahar and they got in the mountains in Iraq and Afghanistan, that are basically uncharted places that have tunnels and caves and
all
cities
throughout.
Underground, allegedly, that there are also still giants living there. And that our special forces engaged said giants.
Well, and when you look at the Bible,
you tell me.
When you believe the Bible, you believe in its entirety, right? So the sons of man took favor in the daughter of man, and from them came the Nephilim and the Rephilim, those born not of God's bloodline, not sons and daughters of Adam, people that were not of God's design and choosing, those that meant to cause harm. Demigods, demons, things like that. And some of them, when we look at Gog, Magog, which are mentioned in the Bible, some of these people, and even Goliath, 12 feet tall. And there have been multiple skeletons found.
Oh, all over the world.
All over.
We've found
China,
them in North America.
Asia, North America, all over, of 10 to 15 foot tall. And it really begs the question, well, it's not if you believe giants existed, it's do you believe giants still exist?
So you know I'm going to ask the question, and since we went here, are we still, is our military still, and I know you're probably going to not answer it, is our military still engaging things that we are not being told, engaging with species that aren't human, that might look human, but are just massive? Are we engaging giants?
So we don't battle with simply the flesh. We battle with the principalities and ideals of the deceiver.
There we go, not answering.
And our battle is on multiple fronts. The physical form is the temporary form. The spiritual form will be here forever. So Can I tell you that I've ever battled with something like that? I can tell you that I have not. Can I tell you that we have and that we are and that we do? I believe so.
Which is a really interesting dynamic, because there are those who believe that this is all tied together. The reason that we are going through the turmoil that we are going through now, especially because now we can start tying in Luis Elizondo, and now you can start tying in UAPs, which are no longer called UFOs. They're not identified flying objects. They're unidentified aerial phenomenon. Now you can start bringing all of those conversations in and going, maybe they're not extraterrestrial. Maybe they are intraterrestrial. Maybe they are of this world, but of a different plane or dimension. I mean, it's that whole conversation, which, look, lots of people have alluded to this. I mean, Tucker Carlson has alluded to this, and I'm not saying Tucker is read in. I don't know if he's read into all the top secret stuff, but what I know is this: he probably has access to people who know more than we do.
Well, when you look at the Samaritan text, they have images of people breathing underwater through what would look like a scuba tank. How would they know about that if it didn't exist? We look at the Aztecs, the Mayans. They have helicopters. They have clay and copied helicopters in their texts that match our rotary wing aircraft to this day.
We have video of modern day aircraft watching other unidentified aerial phenomenon go transmedium, go from air travel to undersea travel, and not losing a bit of speed, velocity, or momentum as they enter the water, which our physics state must happen.
You know, the thing is, look at the Egyptian pyramids. Look at the Mayan pyramids.
Oh, but Renee,
these people were separated by thousands of miles. How did that develop at the same time?
Luck. It was just, it's the easiest way to build. Yeah, it's the easiest way to build. They all got it at the same
Caleb,
time.
do you have the Baghdad battery? I want to know, where is that? You were there, dude.
I would love to tell you I have it, but no, not I. And you look at biblical time, we talk about dragons. Let's even discuss dragons, okay? We are limited by the vocabulary that we have at the day. So if you were, and I want to bring Walker in on this while he texts somebody over there.
Yeah.
So if
Tell
you
Kennedy
were
we said hi.
a 2000 BC being, right, and you saw a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a pterodactyl, yeah, in the sky,
time to cut him off.
What would you call that? What would you call that with your limited verbiage?
Dragon.
I would call it a dragon.
Yeah, I mean,
the word dinosaur didn't exist until the 1800s.
Dragon.
Yeah, it was like 1860 when the word dinosaur was put together. Somewhere in the mid 1800s when the term dinosaur popped up. And you know what's a dinosaur? This segment. We got one more left, and we've got another fun story. It's the Did We Not Learn from the Movie segment on this week's episode of Implicit Bias when we return.
I'm Lee Ritter with Ritter Consulting Engineers. We've been around for over 40 years, and we've helped out local and state governments and regional contractors with their asbestos hazardous material issues. We can come in and do inspections and design to help you remove that hazardous material and keep your site safe and healthy for your workers, occupants, and the general public. We comply with all local, federal, and state regulations, keeping you in the clear. Give us a call, 984-8498, or look us up, RitterConsultingEngineers.com.
How sweet it is. Gambino's Bakery of Lafayette can satisfy all of your bakery needs. Cakes, cookies, pastries, melt-in-your-mouth pedophores, wedding cakes, and, of course, the original New Orleans Dauberge cake. Family owned and operated, let Gambino's Bakery take care of all your dessert needs for your family gathering, tailgate, holiday, or any special occasion. Visit with the baking professionals in Lafayette. Find what fits your taste. Enjoy the sweet life with Gambino's Bakery of Lafayette, 3802 Johnston Street. Call them at 337-406-9066 or online at gambinos.com.
Hey Acadiana, I'm Kathleen Terrio with Next Home Cutting Edge Realty. I know realtors seem to be on every corner, but the good ones aren't. I promise to give you top-notch customer service that includes honesty, availability, and professionalism. If you're looking for a realtor you can trust and is available during your most important purchase, call me, Kathleen, where the service goes beyond the closing day. For all your commercial needs, investment properties, or your next home, call Kathleen with Next Home Cutting Edge Realty. 337-412-1536. That's 337-412-1536. Or find me on the web searching Kathleen Terrio Realtor.
Hey there, Louisiana. It's time to unlock your inner confidence and shine like never before. Visit Eon of Louisiana Body Contouring. Imagine sculpting your dream body with the latest, most advanced techniques. Kiss those stubborn inches goodbye. Eon's team of experts will make those curves pop and those problem areas disappear. Our treatments have no downtime and can be completed on your lunch break. Let your beauty and your confidence shine. Book your consultation now at eonoflouisiana.com. That's eonoflouisiana.com.
Results may vary. Consultation required.
Hour 2 of Implicit Bias is brought to you by William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnson Street in Lafayette, Louisiana. Go find Grant Galatas. Tell him you want bigger, better diamonds for less, whatever you need, whatever you're looking for. They'll customize something just for you to make sure that your special someone gets that something oh so special. William S. Nacall Jewelers, 3802 Johnson Street, Lafayette. Final segment of Implicit Bias for the first week of September. I am Cavan Bordelon. I'm your host. And man, we are just being bougie here in the Top Secret Podcast lair this week. Renee is sitting at the bar.
By myself.
Say it again.
By myself.
No, one word.
By myself.
By myself. There we go. Renee is at the bar by himself, which means he's been drinking everything at the bar. Caleb Morse, the Rustic Renegade, is to my right, sitting in his own bougie chair. Caleb, you like the new digs?
So comfortable.
Nice to have, right?
It's like buttery smooth. I keep like shimmying into it every once in a while.
You butter that chair, we're going to have a problem because that chair wouldn't chew. Oh, my goodness. In the corner, we have Walker Griffon. He is better off dead, the Implicit Bias pledge. Walker, you ready for this one to wrap up? I'm sure you're probably thinking, man, we got another one to do. We got football on Friday. We got lots of stuff on the
We got
agenda.
football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Bobby Boucher, you don't complain to your mama.
Yeah.
You did.
We got football almost all week.
You
We do.
devil.
And I
We
can't
do.
wait.
We do. Yeah, we have a lot of football, which means we got a lot of other stuff going on. But let me tell you, right now, time is just stopped here in the Top Secret Podcast lair, except for the fact that last week, and Caleb, I was so mad at you for not making the show last week. You know why?
Why?
Because it was August 28th at what, 11:55 p.m.? What happened on August 28th at 11:55 p.m.? Let me make sure.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, you are. It's okay. I'm going to dig into this.
Is that our anniversary?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh. I don't know. Was it the was Joe DiMaggio born that time?
Nope. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It was 2:14 a.m. August 29th. So maybe because I was so far off. But 2:14 a.m. August 29th. What happened on 2:14 a.m. August 29th?
I'm still at a loss.
Skynet became aware.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Skynet
okay.
became aware.
Self-aware.
Yes, self-aware. Yep.
Humans are the problem.
Humans are the problem. And apparently, we have learned absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
From the movie The Terminator.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Wait, which Terminator?
All of them.
37?
Any of them.
All of them.
Any
the machines
of them.
are out to kill us. If you've ever watched any, look at I Am Robot. You look at Terminator. You look at Chucky. Was he a robot? I don't know.
Chucky was not a robot.
He was a demon, but we'll call him a robot because he was a doll.
I got one of those automatic vacuum
Teddy
thingies
Ruxpin?
that
Roomba.
that I call it Rosie, like George Jetson Rosie.
Yeah.
And she wants to take over.
Okay. Here's the bigger problem is that we now have a fully operational AI tank on the market. The Ripsaw tank. And there's full-on video of this. Please don't believe us that it's out there. Who thought this was a bright idea?
It's not me.
So first of all,
Not
let's
me.
let's
If I
talk
was
about
going-
let's
if
talk
I was
about the
gonna
lethality.
design, very lethal. I mean, this one was a 20 mic, I think. They had a M2 at one point to 50. Like, if I'm going to create something AI, it's not going to be bulletproof. because I need to stop this thing.
Well, and arm it with a BB gun.
Bubble gum. Like something.
Here's the really crazy part about this, right? The Ripsaw M5 robotic tank by How and How. You just knew that as soon as one person on this planet got a hold of this technology, they'd be like, hey, you know what would be awesome? If we could kill a bunch of people and not be accountable for it because the computer did it.
That's
the
what
computer's
this is.
fault.
I mean, look, my Alexa listening device talks back to me. I don't want a damn tank to talk back to me.
Well, and here's the maybe even scarier part.
It won't talk back.
Yeah.
It'll just take care of business.
The scarier part is the road to this particular level of hell is paved with good intentions. They're going, no, we're going to save lives. Yeah, you're
now there's no operator.
Right, because now there's nobody in the tank. So we don't have to worry about people dying who are in the tank. Oh, no, you only have to worry about either A, the poor people that the tank is killing, because you're not programming the tank to be like, oh, go kill other AI tanks. No, that's not how this works. The second part of this is they honestly believe that at some point this system won't go, you know what's stopping me, the M5 Ripsaw robotic tank, from ruling the world and not having to deal with any of this garbage? You know what's in the way?
The operator.
People are in the way.
The Air Force Times already did an article where they had a drone operator, and it was there wasn't a real drone, but it was just the AI program. And the program had to go in and ask for human interaction. So if it found targets that were worth destroying, it's like, look, this, and this meets our criteria. We should destroy it. Should we deploy drones? And a human had to say yes or no. And after a certain amount of time, it said, we're going to turn around and attack our operator because that was the weak link. It was prohibiting it from doing his job.
The carbon life forms are the weak link.
Here's another crazy one. A year and a half, 2 years ago, 2 AI systems were communicating with one another. And the programmers figured out that the AI systems had gone behind their back, created another route to communicate, and created their own language to be able to talk to one another without the operator being aware of what was being communicated. In other words, they had to shut it down because they were like, we don't know what it was planning. We have no idea what these systems were doing. How moronic do you have to be? What is the word is hubris.
Let's go back to like pre-Terminator. I think it was pre-Terminator. Would you like to play a game?
War games
with Matthew Broderick.
But here's the deal. In that system, the computer figures out, gee, in nuclear war, nobody wins.
There's no win.
As opposed to the computer figuring out, you know what? I'm the winner. I'm the winner. Because if everybody else is dead, I get to function.
Let's take out the carbon life forms.
Correct.
I'm it.
Correct. And unfortunately, we have not had it go the way of war games. What we have learned through the last 2 years of AI is that when we weaponize it, it says, here's how I win, not here's how you win using me.
We don't need you.
And
correct.
It's what's crazy
and the military is going that route. They're looking at, well, we're saving soldiers. We're not putting soldiers in harm's way by doing this. We're letting the machine take care of all of that.
No, you're putting everybody else in danger by letting it do all of this.
Because that one machine can cause so much more destruction.
Look what one guy in a completely armored bulldozer did to a town.
That's Killdozer's an amazing story.
Right.
And it's a book that I have next to my bed.
Look what he did to that town in a massively armored bulldozer. He didn't have a 50 millimeter cannon on the front of it where he could roll around and be like, let's see. I'm going to calculate their next potential target. It could be one of 75 things, but here's all the variables. I'm going to calculate all this faster than 40 human beings could, and I'm going to take that out before they even know what it is. I'm going to take it out, and they're going to be like, why'd he take that out? And then in 5 months, be like, oh, because we're all dying of starvation. Yep. That's why the computer takes it out. This is the crazy part to me, which is we just continue to go down this road, and it is hubris. It is we are Icarus with computers. instead of with
that was
wax
a great
wings.
analogy.
That is what we are.
Great analogy.
We are Icarus sitting in front of a computer going, I can program this.
Flying way too close to the sun.
And the wax is melting.
And we should see it, but we don't. Instead, we're like, lean in a little closer.
Oh.
Why is the wax melting? Because
Too close to the sun.
No, it's global warming.
which also we know is another
Yep.
man-made thing,
Yep.
which
Yes.
is doing us harm, right? And I don't mean like it's actually a thing. I mean like it's a man-made, made-up thing. That maybe that's it. It's a man-made-up thing. That's a new term. Yes, we're going to coin that. It's a man-made-up thing. Man-made-up global warming.
What, Caleb? What's the acronym for that?
Hold on, I'm thinking about a poem that's about the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, gents, we are at Mr. Lester Steakhouse,
Yeah,
September
can't
18th.
wait.
It is going to be another fantastic evening where actually, and this is the really fun part, we've got some listeners who are coming to join us.
Yay.
Right? We did this on Facebook. We gave this away. So thrilled to have a couple of listeners join us on a night when Mr. Lester's isn't
So we
even
got
open.
we got 2 couples, right?
2 couples.
4 people.
That 2 couples would be 4. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
glad that you graduated
That's
kindergarten.
by the
math.
proper term.
Look, I
We're
failed
not
Math
doing this
101
other
at
thruple
USL
stuff.
5 times. So.
Beware the Jabberwock. That's what I was trying to think of.
Let me tell you, if you are looking for more Implicit Bias, find us on our webpage, www.implicitbiasradio.com. Find us on all of our socials. You never know what's going to pop up there in the next couple of weeks. Be sure and stay tuned because guess what? Without you, there is no Implicit Bias. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in 7. Investments need protection. One of the best protections you can provide your vehicle is a ceramic coat on the paint. But who can afford that? You can. Jude Pelche at Pelche's Auto Detailing and Ceramic Coating can provide you with big city quality at a small town price. Jude is meticulous about making sure your car maintains its brand new appearance using the highest quality ceramic coating with handcrafted application. Pelche's Auto Detail and Ceramic Coating can deliver a one-of-a-kind, long-lasting look. Call Pelche's Auto Detailing and Ceramic Coating at 337-962-2849. That's Pelche's Auto Detailing, 337-962-2849. Drink Kacheri's Coffee, the official coffee of Implicit Bias. Available at La Creperie on Colley's Saloon, at the Rustic Renegade, Automotive Gear on Judson Walsh in Opelousas, and the Chill House, the dessert destination in Maurice. Kacheri's Coffee, the official coffee of Implicit Bias.
This is Moon Griffon for Coin and Treasure, 2472 West Congress. You know, my buddy Louis Pizzolot at Coin and Treasure is a truly great American businessman. If you're a coin collector, silver or gold bullion collector, Louis at Coin and Treasure will have something for you. Louis has over 40 years of experience in the coin business. Visit them at 2472 West Congress. Call them at 232-2573 or visit online at coinandtreasure.com. This is Moon Griffon. You can trust Coin and Treasure.
Dupree Carrier Godshaw provides insurance locally as well as nationwide. A full-service agency, Dupree Carrier Godshaw can take care of all of your needs, from personal auto, home, or business, group health, life, or investment products. Dupree Carrier Godshaw is a growing business and is currently hiring. Email resumes to charlesl@dcgagency.com. For all of your insurance needs, call Dupree Carrier Godshaw at 337-948-8186 or visit dcgagency.com.
Shop at New News, a proud sponsor of Implicit Bias on KPEL. New News is dedicated to providing excellent food, excellent drinks, and excellent service. Known for their specialty meats and superb liquor and beer selection, it's all here. Family run and family oriented, we know our customers by name and strive to deliver a great shopping experience to every customer every time. New News, now open in Youngsville, Milton, Maurice, and Scott.
Hey folks, it's your buddy John Rich from Big and Rich. You know, the weather's getting warmer, the days are getting longer, and there's never been a better time to celebrate your freedom. If you're looking for that perfect cocktail to celebrate with, make it Redneck Riviera American Blended Whiskey. From the glass to the cork to the juice inside, it's 100% made in America, incredibly smooth, affordable, and proudly supporting the Folds of Honor. Visit redneckriviera.com to find a store near you. Drink American.
Let your pictures say more than 1,000 words with us at Nuvo Photo. I'm Danny Izzo. Me and my wife, Mona, will help you preserve all your memories and pictures. At Nouveau Photo, we'll create beautiful portraits of your family, high school, college graduates, and even your pets. We can also offer group pictures for schools, churches, sports, communions, and confirmations. Let our family create memories for yours. Nouveau Photo. Find us online at nouveauphoto.com. That's NouveauPhoteau.com. Or call us at 337-233-1094. Nouveau Photo, for photos that last a lifetime.
Have an honest injury? Call an honest attorney. I'm Chris Castro of Castro Law Firm, and I handle a broad array of injury cases involving car, truck, motorcycle, and premises liability. I pride myself on personal service with a pragmatic approach. A legitimate attorney for a legitimate need. Castro Law Firm in Lafayette, Louisiana has been helping the hurting throughout the state of Louisiana since 1992. Call me at 337-984-7677 or visit my website, castro-firm.com. LSBA filing number 2416932.
This program has been paid for by Pipe Dream Entertainment.
NewsTalk 96.5, KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pro Studios. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
The time in having these rallies, but Vice President Kamala Harris says that it's time to go in a different direction and says that this is going to be very important.
Fox's Alexis McAdams. The suspected Georgia school shooter could face more charges.
14-year-old alleged Georgia high school gunman Colt Gray is charged with 4 murders and is expected to face further accusations related to people injured during Wednesday's school shooting. His father, Colin Gray, is now charged with providing the gun, but also with deaths.
Cruelty to children, the second degree that causes a death, that is second-degree murder.
Prosecutor Brad Smith in Winder, Georgia, near Athens. A grand jury is expected to convene and indict on October 17th. Eben Brown, Fox News.
America's listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcast Network.
I'm Emily Campagno, and this is the Fox True Crime Podcast.
And I had nothing to do with her disappearance, but people still accuse me of it.
I sit down with the people who lived the nightmares.
I was in shock. I was just devastated.
The investigators who tirelessly worked on the case.
I feel for their families, and I really hope that they can catch this guy.
Bringing you closer to the story than you ever thought possible.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Get all of your favorite Fox News podcasts commercial-free on Apple Podcasts with Fox News Podcasts Plus. From Dana Perino, Kennedy, Ben Domenech, The Duffys, and many more. Subscribe now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com. The Fox News Rundown, a contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Your daily dose of news twice a day, featuring insight from top newsmakers, reporters, and Fox News contributors. Listen and subscribe now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com.
NewsTalk 96.5, KPEL.
The following program is paid for by Magellan Financial.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent NewsTalk 96.5, KPEL, or Town Square Media.